and welcome. This is Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. On hand today is another edition of our breakfast show, Daybreak Nigeria. We are going to talk about political campaigns in Imo State for the governorship election coming up November 2023. I have two gentlemen to discuss this matter, and on my immediate left is Charles Umeze, a concerned citizen for good governance. I hope I got it. That's your name?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for joining us in the program.
Thank you, Afam.
Okay. And next to him is Ochaya Frank Nwete. Ochaya Frank Nwete is a regular in this program. He's a strategic media consultant. Frank, you're welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me. Welcome, viewers.
My name is Afam Echi. We are Anchor. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. We are going to talk about the campaigns. A matter of about 4 months or so, Imo State will go to the polls to elect another governor to run their affairs for the next 4 years. It looks like nothing is happening. There is so much inertia attending to campaigns. We are not seeing any presence of any campaign. What we are seeing is only the billboard of the governor, and it looks like maybe I don't want to say anything. But Frank, let me start with you. What do you think is actually happening in Imo State that we are not feeling the presence of any campaign?
A lot, plenty. You know, officially campaign by INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC regulation. Campaign has started since June 14. To end by midnight of 19 November, in 24 hours to the election of November 11, 2023. Okay. So I think we have 17 candidates, governorship candidates, 17 political parties have brought in candidates for the election. And I think for them, because of the cost of the campaign, I think they're seeing it as being rather too early to start campaigning, because it will mean transversing to 27 local government areas of the state. And it comes with a lot of cost, plenty cost. So I think these political parties are trying to delay the start of their campaign maybe towards November, because it is something you can do within 27 days. If you are taking one local government a day, you can do it within 27 days by removing Sunday from it. You can do Monday, Saturday, Monday, Saturday. So I think they are delaying to when it is getting closer to election, because doing starting campaign now will even be counterproductive, because people might forget you. If you go today, the person that come tomorrow might even come and say something that will be more that will be sweeter and put to them. And also, you say you are seeing all the governor billboards. That is part of the advantage of being an incumbent. Most of those billboards may not have even been done by Governor Hopus at the moment. People, friends, allies, supporters may have even been doing those billboards. Don't also forget that there is a new law from the Imo State Standards and Advertising Agency.
No, I will come to that.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let me get back to you, Charles. Now, there's something he said, and interestingly, he said it is too early to campaign, and perhaps the candidates are delaying, holding back because of costs. Do you agree with him that it is too early, given the fact that the candidates are expected to send their programs to all the corners of the state, across board, the stakeholders everywhere? Do you think from June to November is too early to start campaigning? Because in the wisdom of INEC, one would think that they have calculated that this period should be sufficient enough for the parties to do something.
Well, I think that the various opposition parties are still in shock on what is happening in the country and in the state, because they ought to have started, even if it's offline. I'm not yet viewed any offline campaign whatsoever by any of the candidates.
What do you mean by offline, so that our viewers can carry that along?
Yes, not coming to the terrestrial media. Okay. Like using the social media or doing hosting town hall meetings and going door to door, consulting stakeholders and.
Okay. You are not seeing that. That's what you're saying.
I'm yet to see any concrete move to engage stakeholders from Imo and outside of Imo. So I want to place this to the doorstep of a political party, the major opposition party in the country and in the state. After what the traverse they underwent in the national and the state, it seemed that the other opposition parties outside of the PDP, something to say, they are looking up to PDP to kickstart the processes because they are not used to opposition. So they are just lying in wait, seeing who goes first, and then trying to know the direction they will follow.
Okay. Frank, do you think it's normal, it's proper to wait for another party, just like you said?
No, because the manifestos differ. You can't wait for it, but for the offline he spoke about, most of the political parties are online. Their supporters have been writing campaigns, sharing their pictures online. That I can attest to. But the campaign we are talking about is the grassroots campaign. The local government tour type of campaign where you mount, where carnival like type of campaign. You understand what? Where you mount podium, mobilize people to come, you talk to them, people dance, they give you acceptance speech, they tell you what they want, you make your promises to them. That's the type of campaign I'm talking about. But for the online stuff, going to social media, on paper, we see them a lot of people. If I one of the governorship candidates for Molo, if we said it's going to be a winner in November, just like the Wahaki won in 2007. I didn't understand what he meant. I said, is there any other Wahaki one other that people voted for him? Unless there's something else trying to tell us. I said, is it part of the campaign? What are you going to do for us? Another candidate said he's going to build general hospitals. I said, what type of general hospital are you going to build? He said this online. So we have 27 general hospitals built by the Lotus Quarter Administration. They are not yet functioning. Many of them are not functioning. And you're talking about building more hospitals. Is it building hospitals? Where are you going to build the hospital? I had expected these people to say, we're going to revive those hospitals, we are going to complete, we are going to finish, we are going to furnish, we are going to equip those hospitals to bring it to maximum use. Not coming to build hospitals. So if it's your online stuff, as a social media, WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, yes, they are doing it. But the type of campaign I believe you're talking about is the grassroots campaign.
That is what I mean.
They've not for it to be counterproductive to start now. Okay. Because of the cost implication. In this part of the world, electioneering comes with a lot of cost. That's why most people that even have the ability to deliver can't even contact because they don't have the ability, the financial ability to do so. And that's why you see, except for the party, you can say big political parties are the ones that can engage in this carnival like type of campaign. You see the other parties, many of them may not even touch the local government. Many of them may not even do that. So it is also, that is where the problem of cost comes. It is not as cost efficient as you can see in advanced nations of the world. Okay.
There are some people who hold the opinion that why we are not seeing some of the candidates. There are 17 of them, but nobody is showing face. Meanwhile, some people hold the view that it is more or less a kind of surrendering to the ruling government, the APC government, and a kind of a fait accompli for Governor Hope Uzodimma, who has been drumming up his performances, and people feel that who is coming to challenge him, that it's going to be a free ride for him. Charles.
Yeah, I see with that it seems they are afraid of the whole situation because they are not used to being in opposition, so they don't know what it takes to challenge an incumbent. That is why and when these things happen, they seem to not to have any ideas on how to start issues with the populace and how to amass their support and the votes. So they are just seeing, okay, let's try to observe a bit. Like Frank said, he said it's too early to start. But for me, it's not too early. It's not. They're almost running out of time. I don't know if they want to emulate a certain presidential candidate, the LP candidate who started 8 months to the elections, and they saw how challenging it was for they said the presidential candidate, except like he said, every day you take one local government, every day you take one local government. But then there is a caveat to it. The people are now saying, you need to really tell us what exactly you are doing. This has gone beyond going to the local government headquarters or markets. You must visit, like in a local government like in Bitolu, you must visit 4 to 5 places at the time, to really convince people. It doesn't just come to Oribi or and just you rush your and so on and so forth. So for me, it's just they are so afraid of the whole situation and how they will kickstart their campaign. Sometimes when you are confused about something, you tend to slip further into further confusion, and before you know it, the whole thing, the time is already here, and you begin to put up 1 or 2 things, and before you know it, it's over.
Okay, Frank, let me go with you one more time on this issue of cost. Is it right that our election should be so costly that people will be scared of doing the right things they're supposed to do, delaying to reach out to the people. Because campaign is designed for people to sell their programs, their manifestos, what they're going to do for people. What is this cost component that is, making an election? Because you see, when you talk about cost, yes, this is what faces off a lot of persons, very good candidates who can come and serve the people. But because the election is so expensive and it creates room for corruption, and just like you said, things are not done appropriately. So what is your view on this issue of course? What do you think should be done so that we can make things affordable to everybody?
We play a type of politics called politics of Ayaje in Nigeria. Ayaje.
Meaning that he is the one who...
Yes, Agije.
Okay.
That Agije will be said to almost all the 17 candidates. Once you come on campaign, tell you Agije. That's a politics of poverty mentality.
Okay, that's the electorate.
Yes, the crowd you have come to talk to tell you Agije.
Okay.
That Agije means settle us, give us something. Agije. That Agije comes out once you don't allow some words of cash to people you are going to talk to, they'll tell you Agije. So that is poverty mentality. Politics of underdevelopment. Because of the high level of poverty that people live, because we have majority of people living below poverty line than those that are above poverty line. So that is why at any time of competition, because we also have that mentality that anybody that's seeking for political power is going to be corrupt, is going to steal. So it's better you also give us our own share now. So that's why you see that idea of Agije. They want to get from you what do you have. So when you come and talk, they're not listening to that thing you're saying. They're just going to say, I have these bags of rice for you, I have this salt for you, I have this number of wrapper for you, I have this number of tin tomato for you, I have this number of cash for you, share it. That's what and once you make that type of statement, which is the campaign statement they want to hear, then the constitution of Agije will now rent the air. But let me also tell you something. This Imo State election got to this point, to this lowest point, the day His Excellency Emeki Ihedioha withdrew from that race. It was only Emeki Ihedioha that could have comfortably beaten Governor Hope Uzodinma. But the day he withdrew from the race, we're asking what has happened. He left with the soul of the election. And that's why Governor Hope has wanted to relax. If you see, since that day Emeki Ihedioha withdrew from the race, Governor Hope has wanted to relax. He's also seen those people as featherweight. People that can't tell being the incumbent. Of course, he knows how to use power. I deploy him to the maximum. The power of the incumbency he's have, and he's within it. That's why you see his billboards everywhere. You don't see other people's billboards. One of the billboards I saw coming to this morning is from the former immediate past Speaker of the House of Assembly, Emeka Njoka. He's mounted a billboard. I saw that billboard mounted by the APC state chairman. What resources the APC state chairman might control, other people might not control it. Making those billboards is just like you said, it's not a come chop affair. So most other party chairman cannot afford to do it. So talking about why it is called, it's because of poverty. If our leaders from time immemorial have developed this nation, where everybody is busy, you have what you are doing, people, because let me also tell you, for the 17 candidates, they're going to meet the same crowd. The same crowd they mobilize for candidate 1. It's the same crowd they are mobilizing for candidate B. It's the same crowd. It's the same. Well, they are coming to collect Agije. They will sing the concept of Agije to all of them. So you don't even deceive yourself. Of the 100% of those that will even come for the campaign, only about 3 or 4% might be your real followers. Might be those that will vote for you. So that's why you see when you come to campaign, you see a crowd of about 200,000 people coming to listen to you. But the local government on the election day, not up to 2,000 voters. Do you know that in also local government, only 200 people voted for the House of Assembly? The guy that won, that Agabi that won with 200 votes. In also local government. Yes, because of insecurity. But during campaign, you see crowd came out. But on the day of election, the ballot was counted 200 votes. He won with just 200 votes.
That could be understood. In this security would have.
But during campaign, people come. If you want to video the campaign, there were more than 200 people. It's like that everywhere. And you know, it became more problematic because INEC cannot give ballot based on PVCs collected. It is no longer on register of number of registered voters. Like before the 2023 election, INEC will give ballot based on the number of registered voters. So if you come to your booth A, you say you have 10,000 registered voters. inflated voters. They give you 10,000 ballots. That's why it was easy those days to write results. You now say 100 people will vote. You have 990. You have 990 votes remaining, or 900 votes. You now begin to share. You now begin to write. But INEC said no. It is based on PVCs collected. So you may have 10,000 voters and 1,000 PVCs collected. So they give you 1,000 ballots. So for the 1,000 ballots, only 200 people might vote. You can't even write it just 800 because you need to fingerprint. You need to be captured. It's just why you see the mutilation we saw in the presidential election. When they now saw that they couldn't pardon the result, they began to manipulate by mutilating those shit. So, and you know, it is not even easy to mutilate. For you to mutilate, of course, you must know how high you are in the society. There's also coming with cost because those that even help you do it. Because it's not something one man would do. You must have a brood of 5% that help you do it. You also need to settle them. It's part of the cost we are talking about.
Okay, yeah, I get to you, Charles. Now, how will you rate the chances of the parties, you know, especially the frontliners, the APC, PDP, Labour Party, and APCA, Accord, and you know, how would you rate their chances, you know, of dethroning the incumbent?
You see,
or do you still think it's still a free ride for the government?
No, if you cast your mind back to memory lane, you will discover that Imo has a knack, an uncanny knack for disputing pundits, bookmakers. You know, you map up a plan that this party or this party will win. This is why we come second, and at the end of the day, the whole thing feels like a pack of cards. I take you back 1983. When Mbakwe won against Collins Obi and won Wakama, you know, good, thank you. Okay. Then 1991, when the Atabon Ivan and defeated Fabian Osuji and Alex Obi, good. To 1999, when Udenwa emerged, you know, when the Chief of Equity ceded the whole thing to Olo. 2007, when out of the blues, I came from PPA. Emerged victorious ahead of Martin Abaso and at all. 2011, when an incumbent was defeated, Seven Hakim was defeated. So it's not yet to Google for the ruling party, you know. Anything can still happen because Imolites are very dynamic and very intelligent, I must say. And things could change overnight, and you say, wow, what just happened, you know. So, but there's one thing I want to let me talk about the campaign issue, the funds. You know, in business, you have what we call capital, and there are various channels or sources of capital. One of them is goodwill. I think most of those parties are not convinced yet if they have the goodwill. That is, I can come to the people and they will accept it immediately. You know, that charm, that aura, when you come to the people, something clicks. Yes. So it's important to be not sure or afraid of what the future holds. Do I really have, can I make it? Like Mr. Frank just laid credence to what I said, the major opposition party, you know, fell apart, quote unquote, and then the younger ones, you know, became orphans, so to speak. So, so those smaller parties, if they team up, although there's no law now enabling that you now defect when the party is already halfway. I'm not sure of any law, you know. So they might say, okay, let's do it, you know, surreptitiously and support one person while we still remain in our various parties. Otherwise, I think the ruling party has an advantage over, you know, at this point, except something untoward happens.
Frank, what is your view on what you just said? Of
course, we spoke about the goodwill because I told you that the power of incumbency, he has a lot of appointees, he has a lot of contractors. These are the goodwill comes from these people. I told about the people that I saw that was mounted by the media party speaker. It's a part of the goodwill. So if there are 100 billboards for the governor, about 85 of them may not come from government, may come from his appointees, appointees the local government. Yes, from him, to appreciate him for giving us, for doing that. Just like help the only men are coming from Moha. Moha can decide, so let's do a billboard for you to thank you for picking our daughter. It's a part of the game we spoke about.
And that is what is rating the ruling party higher than.
Of course, that's why incumbency comes in. You talk about conflict, that's why it comes in. So which other political party do you have? If you talk about PDP is divided now. They have just one member in the House of Assembly. And the member in the House of Assembly, the organ in quote, the guy in post has just defected to the APC, and you think you come and support the party? As at the national, what's happening? Look at how many people they have. How many people they have? 4 people at the national. So how strong support are going to give to the party? You come to a court have just one person house, so you have no other person anywhere. They talk about labor. Labor is divided. You can see the candidacy toss between Ikenga Joseph Ukebo one side and Tata Nachon on the other side. What happened? Tata Nachon is a product of the Julius Abude, Julius Abude primaries, and Ikenga Joseph Ukebo is a product of the Lamida Papa primaries. That Julius Abude couldn't have come from suspension to conduct primaries, because at the 15th, when the primaries was conducted, Julius was on suspension. But Ukebu's primary was conducted on the 16th, and to Lamida Yes. So with the division, who amongst them will enjoy the goodwill? You won't gamble going to give. You can't gamble your goodwill in such a party, you know, that's in this way. Because you know some of their policies, so why policies people say it's a business, it is also a game, it is a business. No matter how dirty or how clean you think it is, people are investing heavily in it. I doubt who may want to invest in a party that's in this way. I doubt it.
Okay, now let me ask you still, Frank, the collapse of some members of the PDP State Working Committee, how do you respond to that? Do you see it as a collapse of PDP into APC, you know? Or do you feel it's a kind of a sabotage from the members against their party?
PDP had already collapsed. That very day His Excellency making it that withdrew from the race. It is not that the PDP had been started due to the magnanimity of His Excellency making Hedion. That these 7 people, of course, the day they defected, that Sunday, June 18th, defected, they made a press conference. You need to listen to what they say. They said a lot of things, including to their life attacks, that they've gotten several attacks, that an attempt to go and report to police and this for investigation that was blocked by certain persons, they said the block, and they couldn't continue.
Persons coming from where?
Well, of course, the governorship candidate of the party, so sometimes they have that, he blocked it. So they couldn't gamble with that. The man is also, they said a lot of things. Go and check it. It's in public domain. It's not so that it's hidden. Because it was the press conference. So they left. They now joined the ruling party. So what am I trying to say? Nobody stays in a place that's not comfortable to him. Just like you are here today. If this is no longer comfortable to you, of course, don't expect to waste your time staying here. You move. For me, it is not sabotage. They felt that we are not needed, and they moved. They moved. It's not the first time they are defected. It's not the first time people are defected.
Moving to a party they have been criticizing all the while and attacking.
Of course. Have you not met up with an enemy before in your life? Have you not fought with them and met up the next day with the person?
So that is a kind of...
but they met up with the party and they joined them.
Okay.
And of course, I told you that Governor Opus knows how to use power. You know, of course, you know that these are people that fought him to stop power in the past. It was very easy for him to use the white arms to receive. Of course, he knows the value they have. It is the value. It's not tapping into the value. He believes the powers they have deployed in fighting him in the past, he's trying to tap into. And that he has successfully done. So whoever has come to dispute these 7 people that are left, that they have left enough, it is not true. Go and check the records. Martin, who left, is the only man that won his local government issue in the House of Assembly. Modestus was secretary in the House of Assembly today. It's his boy, his candidate. Tell me who else among them that won it? Nobody.
Okay. Now, Charles, the number of candidates, 17 for that matter, jostling for this singular position to occupy Douglas House. Now, do you see it as does this impose the energy with which people want a change in the government house, or you think that people just want to run for election?
Well, this takes us back to 2019, when for the first time in the history of Nigeria, 79 persons or 70 or so thereabouts came to jostle for the highest office in the land.
71.
71, yes.
In
2019. And now, if not for the reduction of parties by INEC, you know, it would have been said will be a bloated figure. We will be talking about 100 now. So this goes to show that you know, Imo is a very serious state, and it's a very hybrid state in politics in Nigeria. And the people want their opinion to be heard at all times, and that is in line with the egalitarian spirit of Igbos. Everyone wants to be heard, which is for me not bad anyway. Yeah, it shows that people keep on hammering on the tenets of democracy that they must be heard. But then what we ask ourselves is, those 17 candidates or 16 plus the incumbent, what have they been doing to make sure that they sway voters to their side? That is another question, because if you have no plan, you say who has no plan, plans to fail. Because if you have a plan, you must work towards your plan to actualize it. Otherwise, you just trying to register your name so that you answer a former gubernatorial candidate in Imo State. Because as I said earlier, they have not seen any concrete arrangements and inroad towards the masses, towards analyzing their challenges and problems and telling us how best to solve them, so that it will last for a long time. So for me, it is neither here nor there. It may be to assert that we must be heard, we must come out, we must contest it. It is within our rights, and it may also be that yes, we had good plans for you, but so far we've not seen that concrete approach towards the issue. So for me, it's neither here nor there.
Okay, now Frank, you see, the government has been accused of imposing a whooping sum of 54.3 million on the other candidates before they can mount their billboard, and presently we are seeing only the billboard of the governor, suggesting that perhaps, possibly, he is the only person in compliance with that law. Now, what do you think is the implication of this on the polity itself in Imo State in relation to the 2023 Imo governorship?
Well, there's this saying that Jisiana Ababo, billboard doesn't win elections. Whatever, that 54.3 million is on, well, it's on the high side, but most of the political parties don't even have that amount for the budget for their campaign, but they don't even have up to that amount. They're talking about paying for just billboard. You see, it is part of that political base. Whatever you do to stifle your position, to stifle your those that contest against, whatever you can do it. That's what just the government have done. But you see, he didn't stop them from going on social media to campaign. That 54 million does not stop them from coming to the studio here to sell their products. It doesn't stop them. So it is not about billboard. In the past, their candidates in the past that mounted billboards, but you know them. They didn't go to campaign. The 54 million does not to stop you from backing on grassroots campaign, local campaign, door-to-door campaign. It doesn't stop you. It doesn't talk about billboard.
Yeah, but it is a kind of fencing off somebody from having opportunity of showcasing.
Most of those candidates won't even do as much billboard as even that 4.3 billion with the regulation stipulated. So if now they've made a press conference condemning it, I expected them to go to court. You know, the first go to court. It's a jail that is existing in the country now. They should have gone to court to challenge it. But none of those people have gone to court to challenge it. Either they don't have the courage to do so, or they don't have whatever they didn't go to court to challenge it. Since they didn't go to court to challenge it, they've done a press conference condemning it, and the assigned agents refuse to budge on it. Of course, they should leave them to it. Let only government billboard stand. They can develop other means of talking to people. You can go to parks, share your flyers. The 4.3 million doesn't stop you. There are a lot of strategies. The problem with these candidates is that they don't know strategies to deploy. You are contesting against an incumbent. You must deploy very strong, when I say strong, strongest strategies to get an incumbent. It's not just by meritorious. You can't beat an incumbent by meritorious, by going to campaign to dance. You can't just beat an incumbent with it. No, you must deploy strong security. So since say 4.3 million, and you know you can't afford it, wanted to print flyers, go to parks and share, go to campuses, go on highway, on streets, on roads, share. It will even make greater impact than the people are going to mount. Because of course, you mount people, there are strategic places you mount it. Some people not even pass through the place, they're going to mount people to the end of the election. There are persons that won't even pass through that place. But when you go to market, you see these women, they vote at elections. Do your flyers, give them, talk to them, one-on-one. Talk to them. It's not about billboard, just say about ball. So forget that billboard issue. When you know you can't pay that 54.3 million, like I said, many of these people don't even have such budget for their campaign.
Okay, now, Charles, Frank is saying forget about billboard because Jesse does not play.
Of course.
Football. Do you agree with him, taking into account that there should be a level playing field for everybody? And if the government has come up with such a law which people see as draconian, now, do you think it is fair? Do you think it is right? Frank has said it should be ignored.
Yeah, I agree that a level playing field should be provided across the board. But there's this saying that in Igbo that I think this is the time to think outside the box to deploy other strategies. It's still less crazy to what I've been saying. They are not very sure if they have what it takes to win, unfortunately. Because if they know that they can make an impact, by now the strategies must have been mapped out already.
Of course.
And by now we must have made serious inroads into all of this. After all, the Labour Party candidate, if you go to Abuja, then his business wasn't even all over the place, but he was in the minds of people. So if any of them thinks that they have all the goodwill, by now they must have gone so far. Thank God it's not a national election, it's just Imo State election, 27 local government, a state of 5,000 square kilometers. So who said they can cover up and forget about the 54 million naira bill?
Okay, before we round off, one more question, Frank, for you. Now, how would you assess the performance of the governor? Has he performed so creditably that he deserves a second term?
Well, governance is not as easy as we see it from the outside. Now, when you talk about governance, the people here, because of poverty, mental development, they talk about corruption, that the person point is going to corrupt. For me, he's trying his best, and it's the federal roads he's done. But I will implore him to move into the hinterlands, the Imo internal roads. Let him see what to do with it. They are almost inaccessible. They are dilapidated and inaccessible. But for the federal roads, he's trying. And let him also look into the issue of insecurity. You can imagine what has happened in the past. You didn't say Bobago come to attack these boys. But every day in Uguta, you see Bobago going for us, killing people, burning down their houses. But on the day the boys came to the town to shoot, you expected Bobago to come and face the boy. Bobago was nowhere to be found. But so he's trying his best. Yesterday, he convened a meeting of Southeasterners on the issue of security. I commend him for that. It's a bold step in the right direction. But let something come out of it. Since they are talking about releasing Nnamdi, and the court has given order for his release, let him now move as a delegation to Mr. President. Plead with him. Proceed with him. Tell him the implications of releasing Nnamdi, that peace can be achieved if Nnamdi is released. So I think so far the government has tried, but you need to do a little more.
Okay. Thank you so much, Charles, for coming to the program.
Thank you too.
Okay, Frank, we appreciate your presence.
Thank you so much.
Okay, viewers, this is where we draw the curtain for the program at this period. Please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. My name again is Afam H.